Rach! Sorry, Rach. I gotta go have another party on Instagram. I gotta go. No more of my terrible takes. But I ended with a doozy. Mwah! I wish he was still around now. Now I miss Paul Pierce because I don't have his powerful reverse jinxes to send the Heat into glory because he just can't help himself.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, take your pants off, everybody.
I have to say that we had questions, right? But the one thing that I'll say about the Heat, as long as I've been watching the Heat, they always seem to be the best version or close to the best version that they're going to be about that last 2 weeks of the season.
You know what
it is, I don't know how. I can't explain it. Everybody mysteriously gets healthy. Everybody, and so that's why earlier in the year when everybody was shooting up bricks and whatever, I said, that'll average it out. That'll average itself out. Guys are shooting bricks. It always seems when you shoot a number of shots or you have a number of plate appearances during the course of a season, certain people just always seem to work their way out of it. And this is one of those teams. I don't care who's shooting the ball. It always seems to pick up towards the end of the season.
Do me a favor, too, Amy Lawrence. Save your CBS Sports Minute for giving the Knicks a pat on the ass for losing to Talen Horton-Tucker.
Ooh.
With their... Yeah, that's who gave him the dagger at the end there in overtime. I had to leave. I was there up until overtime for the New York Knicks and the LA Lakers. And I'm like, overtime of this garbage? No thanks.
Wow, I can't believe we made it that far.
I was jacked up, Robbie. You want to know why? Because we ended Boston season again. Enjoy the play-in, losers. We're going to go to the actual playoffs. Go enjoy your little scrappy poo with the Hornets. Buzz, buzz. Going to take on some bumblebees who I'd be terrified to take on. But that's neither here nor there. And by the way,
that's a double petty game. You got Gordon Hayward and
and Kemba Walker. Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh man.
So now you got an intangible in Charlotte.
Don't forget about Scary Terry.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, they can enjoy that. That's what happens when you're gutless and you can't win one home game to save your season. Gutless. And by the way, any Sully and Murph who wants to come at me with Jaylen Brown wasn't there, well, Jimmy Butler wasn't there for the second half. Where were you? It was there on a silver platter. The Heat have stunk without him all year. But you want to know who showed the guts? Miami. Because they always do, and you never do. Hey. So go ahead. Go back. Watch your old Larry Bird footage. All right. Red Auerbach. Whoever you need to comfort yourself with. Sully, O'Keefe, O'Malley. Oh, no.
If I may.
Oh, no.
Just because, and I love this. Just because there's an opportunity doesn't mean you're good enough to take advantage of it. Like, I mean, yeah, there's an opportunity. There was an opportunity for the Celtics to win one of two. There was an opportunity for them to not be in the play-in. They weren't good enough. The Heat were better. Yeah. So, like, who cares about opportunity? You say, it was sitting right there in front of you. You had the Heat were better. Get over it.
Robbie, did you see how desperate they got because he couldn't stop anybody? How Marcus Smart just tried to tackle people. Yeah, he was in on it with the Towel Boys.
I would
Grant
say
Williams doing a full Greg Louganis.
the one thing
that was so embarrassing with him.
Whoa. The one thing that annoyed me yesterday about that game was, and it happened 2 games in a row.
They made it
every time Boston got down a big number, they started getting free runs to the hoop. You know what I mean? Like just layups, fouls. And I'm like, wait a minute, man, you guys been playing too good a defense to give up these easy layups. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I
but
think
the
it's
same thing happened this game. The same thing happened this game happened the last game.
Yeah, like the
They
Heat
get a
up by
little
21.
close, somebody make a three, somebody have a big play on the offensive end, steal something. They kept them at an arm's length, and they never really could get close enough to where you thought,
Yeah, just a great game from all of your backcourt, especially with Jimmy out. I mean, Kendrick, Goran, Tyler,
4 or 5 of them.
Duncan. Yeah, it was awesome. It was just such a great performance from them.
It was unbelievable. It is the truth. Like, if you want to know what they want Miami basketball to be, besides the layups, they want it to be defense. They want it to be 2 or 3 guys that can switch and guard anybody. And they want it to rain threes.
How about Spo losing his mind up 14?
Yeah,
I mean,
it was a 21-point game.
He had a point because I think he wanted to challenge.
Yeah, it was guard.
And
Yeah,
the green light was on, and nobody was looking.
It's that whole thing is stupid. And by the way, I don't understand why the coaches have to wear masks. Like, obviously nobody can hear them, and they have to pull it all around. Like, the head coach should be right there with the players where he doesn't have to wear a mask.
He wasn't wearing a mask in the bubble. Spoelstra wasn't wearing a mask in the bubble last year.
It's a weird one to me. I don't understand it. I don't understand.
Coaches are required to wear masks, but remember at what point the players were too.
No, the players do. I mean, on the bench they have to wear.
Yeah, they're not going to be yelling out instructions from the bench like the coaches.
I think I think I read in baseball that, like, forget the team, but somebody got like 85% vaccinated and they don't have to wear masks anymore.
Right. They have that rule with Major League Baseball that if your team is 85%, then you don't have to wear masks.
Well, the Yankees third base coach got the Rona and he was vaccinated.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, Phil Nevin. Well, he got the Johnson & Johnson one.
It's a bum ass one.
What? Hey,
sorry, facts is facts. You don't got that Pfizer.
Or maybe he hadn't been fully inoculated yet.
Maybe
it hadn't kicked in.
Oh no, they said he got it in spring training. He said he got his vaccine in spring.
That's
training.
Inoculated.
That's 2 months.
All right,
we're doomed.
Listen, I got my shot. I'm protecting all y'all, right? But don't put that on me, Ricky Bobby. Don't. Hey.
Any other headlines, Robbie, that we got to get to besides the Heat beating the holy hell out of the Celtics? And by the way, yes, we are going to fire up WEEI today. I can't wait to hear what they have to say. I think they're probably beaten down though. They probably quit just like just like their team.
You think their team quit scoring 121 points?
Quit.
Well, there was some bad body language at the end. I'm like, wait, why isn't Brad Stevens calling a timeout here? They're down like 6 with 10 seconds left, and why aren't they calling a timeout? Advance the ball to half court. It looked like they didn't care at the end.
Hey.
It's an excuse. Jaylen Brown's out for the season. They got a willy nilly pass.
I guess. I mean, like, I'm more in line with, when I see a team play like that. I'm not so easy to call them quitters. Maybe they're not as good as everybody thought.
I'm easy to call them quitters.
My favorite, Jukebox 305 brings up the Brad Stevens mid-game interview. I remember Grant Hill interviewing Brad Stevens at the start of the fourth quarter, and he's like, "You guys haven't really been able to stop them." And the look at Brad Stevens is like,
it was the only good thing Grant Hill did all night, because he's so adorably green at this whole broadcasting thing that, like, his interview was just so honest. He goes, "I tell you, Brad, I mean, you really can't stop him at both ends. It doesn't seem like you're scoring. How are you gonna adjust, my man?"
Sound like WEI asked that question, huh?
It was like
something, bro.
Because I don't know what was up with Grant. Grant Hill sounded like he was calling the game from a library. Like, he didn't want to wake anybody up, which I know
he didn't want the interview to end.
And like, again, I know he's calling the game from his house, but it seemed like he was doing it from the Detroit Public Library or something like that. It was just so awkward. And then that interview was just such a delight.
And as far as other headlines, as far as relates, the Heat are now in a 3-way tie for that 4th seed with Atlanta, and the Knicks lost last night in overtime, and so they still have a shot to get that 4th seed, but they're officially not going to be in. They're in the playoffs because that's what they're saying in the broadcast, that making the play-in round does not count as playoffs. You have to actually make the actual playoffs for it to be credited as a playoff season.
I love it.
Hey, did you hear Bam after?
Oh yeah, he made a D-Boy shout out.
That's my guy. I love him.
Yeah, I was
Text him back, D Wade.
Wow, that was pretty. Everybody putting their name in the hat, huh? That's a first.
Except he actually deserves it.
Yeah. Who's gonna win it?
I mean, they'll probably give it to that loser Ben Simmons because he's been bitching and moaning about it since like January.
We have another beef with Tim Watts.
Here's what I would say.
He's gonna call up Rach.
There's a difference. There's a difference in guarding guys at your position that you're 4 inches taller than, versus being 6'9" and guarding all 5 on the floor. Mm-hmm. That is more impressive to me. So when Ben Simmons is 6'10", and he wants Defensive Player of the Year because all of the guys he's guarding look like ants in front of him.
Can also feed people to Joel Embiid, who's Bam
feeding
it?
Right. There's no.
Bam's gonna feed somebody to Trevor Ariza at the rim,
or feed him to himself because he can't let nobody by because he knows that he's normally the guy waiting in there.
Yeah. Well, I was happy for him. Good. Let him peacock a little bit.
Well, what was the Jimmy got poked in the eye?
Yeah,
he got poked in the eye at the end of the first half and then fell backwards. And then he was warming up. It was actually funny because I was making my kids lunch boxes and they kept saying hero. I kept looking at my TV because I couldn't see my TV from my counter. Right. I was like, hero. And then I walked back and they're like, yeah, Jimmy Butler has not come out to start the second. I was like, ah! I'm not gonna lie. I was a little scared.
Yeah, question for you guys:
Did he have a little concussion or?
Nah, they just said it was an eye.
I know when he came out, he was like,
yeah, he showed the video. He just couldn't. I think he got the old Captain Insano.
What the hell's that?
Remember Waterboy? When Big Show he played this guy Captain Insano. His finishing maneuver was poking in the eye.
Really? The Big Show poking somebody in the eye. That is funny. The Big Show. Your name is the Big Show, and your finishing move.
Well, he wasn't the Big Show. He was Captain Insano.
Yeah, same difference.
Captain Insano shows no mercy.
The funniest thing about all of his movies, why on earth does he have to talk like that in his movies? It's the craziest thing. It's like, dude, we know it's you, and he is one of the only actors that every movie he makes is the same actors playing different roles.
Yes, it's all friends.
And you can all point them out. Oh, he was so and so.
Oh, Buscemi, now it's Kevin James and Nick Swardson.
Right.
That Dante guy.
All right.
The crooked eye guy. It was Buscemi.
Buscemi, yeah.
Did you see the sweater that Tyler Hero wore into the building yesterday? I mean, it was glorious. Robbie, did you see this?
I did see this.
I'll throw this up for the Twitch audience. J-Fig, did you see the Tyler Hero sweater that he had going yesterday? Because it was incredible.
What was that, velvet?
I don't know what it is, man. But he is rocking I guess the best way you could describe it is it's a church stained glass window as a sweater. And
velour.
On his shirt is a baby goat. It's a lamb. And it says worship. Also wearing the old school Marlins hat. I mean, that is something. And yeah, I think you're right, Leroy. I think those are velvet pants.
Yeah.
Velvet pants.
Is it chilly up in New England?
I don't know. I know it's frosty up in New England after that ass kicking they took.
No. We won't know how frosty it is till we get our daily update.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm going to give them a couple segments before
I was looking at their faces earlier.
Oh yeah?
Just disgusted.
Just disgusted. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be fantastic. I can't wait to hear what they have to say. I want to somebody give me the ringer. Give me Bill Simmons podcast. I wanted a live Bill Simmons cam yesterday watching that game just to see his dopey face. All your little Pat Riley jokes you're making over the years. What about Danny Ainge, Bill Simmons? What are you doing with all those draft picks that he's been squirreling away for decades, doing nothing with them because nobody wants to go play for your team? What are you doing with it? What are you doing with them? Saving them for a rainy day? Are you hoping they turn into Dogecoin? Idiots. Oh, I'm so happy. Not a team it could have felt better against. And then the Knicks lose that night. And LeBron even tried to do the Team Petty thing, Robbie, where he didn't play the Knicks. He goes, who's this good for? Oh, it's good for the Heat if I play? No, I'm not going to play. And so then all this credit. Oh,
that's
yeah,
what he's thinking?
Oh, yeah. It was definitely in his plans. And it doesn't matter anyway.
He wasn't thinking that they have a back-to-back?
Nah, he wasn't thinking that.
Okay.
Nah, he wasn't thinking that. And you're going to come back and play the Rockets? Oh, thanks, bruh. Really need you against Kelly Olynyk. Appreciate it. By the way, anybody want to send me another Kelly Olynyk box score? I just want to know. I want to know if that's a thing. Please do so. I would love to hear some more about his net rating. Just let me know. Go ahead. Tell me you want him over Trevor Ariza and the dead man. You tell me that. Please. It's been going swimmingly.
What I've learned with Twitter and Instagram and television, and all these, opportunities people have to speak their mind, is that in most cases they just give their hot take and keep it moving.
Mm-hmm.
And in a lot of cases, they don't recall the things they've said in their last hot take. So thank goodness for freezing cold takes and people like that hold people accountable.
Did you see
some of the things that come out of their mouth?
Did you see the Heat yesterday freezing cold takes Paul Pierce? They tweeted out the video of him saying they would have made the playoffs.
Of course they did.
That's tremendous. And boy, hey, that media, social media, I've taught you well. I feel like they've learned it at the knee of our show. Hold on to a little Team Petty, and boom, tweet that out.
You sure you don't have that as a side job? Because that guy seems so much like you.
I don't have that as a side job, but like I said, I would love to be an intern in their marketing department for one day. That would be a great. I would love to do that.
Then one day is not enough.
I mean,
you can't get all the situations together. You need like a good month, because here's what'll happen.
Really infiltrate?
No, you go like this. Yeah, young fella, that's cute. But you remember 3 years ago? Remember that little situation 3 years ago? Yeah.
See, what you really need to do is you need to Photoshop Paul Pierce's face on a bum's body, and then tweet that out. And then in his little bum pack is his terrible take. Well, let's work with it. It's a workshop idea. You just let me know. Let me know if you want to tweet that out. I'm just saying.
You are a person that can never get CGI.
Oh man, I'm trying.
You need, as long as you have the little bootleg version, so we can clearly see, that it's been doctored.
Yeah,
if you were left with any equipment that makes that questionable, we have no chance on Twitter. No chance.
Let's get to some of your messages here. Let's see. Wow, somebody's saying Leroy, Boston was 48 degrees last night. That's terrible. Woo. Another text.
Yeah, I lived that life.
Another guy says Dragic thought that he was at the park with that behind the back pass. Just a shame he didn't finish. Oh, that was so great. He was such a rascal. Did you see him bounce the ball off of his opponent? Oh, that was so good. Gogi. He's so sweet. Love him when he's pulling his little tricks. I want to pinch his cheeks.
Tricks. That's not called tricks. That when it's Gogi, crafty.
Let's see. Another text right said, "We got lucky, right, Tobin? Up 15 late, bad position to be in. We wish we were down too." Totally. Well, I told you, you kept it right at that sweet spot, right at that sweet spot.
I don't care what has happened in the past.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm watching my team and I'm watching the team I'm rooting for, I always would rather them have the lead. I don't care about how much. The more, the merrier.
I like a lead too. I told you there's a sweet spot lead. They were right there. They grooved it right, like Jesus Aguilar on the road.
Ha! He had another one yesterday.
He did, but once he cut the lead in half, then the Diamondbacks unleashed hell the next inning, and so that's all she wrote. Wasn't you know it's got to be like the loneliest game in the world for Paul Severino and Todd Hollandsworth. 11-3 West Coast game.
Oh.
It's like,
they're probably thinking nobody's watching this.
Is anybody here? Anybody?
I remember Tommy Hunt would get away with saying some wacky stuff after midnight. It's like, it's after midnight. I can say whatever I want.
Duncan Robinson alluded to this after the game, where he said that he thought that Jimmy Butler going out of the game in a weird way was almost like a boost to the Heat. Like it kind of sharpened everybody in and honed them into that game a little bit more. And it showed. Like, listen, this team has not had a lot of success without Jimmy Butler this year. That's just the facts. I mean, he has been carrying this team, and especially when things get dicey, like they did in the last game against Boston. Jimmy Butler's really been able to slow things down, get to the line, get a big stop, get a big steal. Like, it's been all Jimmy Butler in a lot of ways for this team this year. And I think Duncan makes a good point where he was just like, it was a big growing game for us because without Jimmy, we all kind of had to step up and gather around together, and they did. Everybody was great for them. I mean, Duncan was great. Tyler was great. Goran was great. Bam was great.
I think one of the things that was good about that was it was weird in that the style or the way they were good was kind of away from Jimmy's game to start off with. So they were good with the, dribble, drive, kick, and three. There wasn't a time where they weren't hot, where somebody had to bear down and take it to the hoop just to get them points. The other thing is that I love seeing the pump fake. I love seeing the pick and roll with two smalls. And then that guy diving, Kendrick Nunn got a couple of layups like that from Duncan. I mean, it was just the whole game was a little different and played away from Jimmy's strengths to start off with, and everybody kind of picked up picked up a little bit as far as assisting. I saw a lot of cool assists.
I thought a lot of difficult shot makes too. I thought that like a lot of guys were hitting some pretty crazy fadeaways, or guys were getting and from both sides too. I'll even give Boston credit on it. Like I think that you'd have Bam seal off Jason Tatum, and they'd end up with like on the third effort, Fournier would chuck up a three. Like it was just some really impressive offense.
A lot of good offense. Around. The only thing is, and I mentioned this earlier, was I hated when the Heat went on a run and they just let Boston get to the hoop when they were trying to mount a comeback.
Right.
Like they come back down and have like two quick layups. Like, come on, dude. What are we doing here?
Right now, Miami finds himself in the 5 seed. They have the same record as the Hawks and the Knicks. The Knicks yesterday, they lost in overtime to the LeBron-less LA Lakers. LeBron is, I guess, he's coming back today. Is that what you're saying, Robbie?
Yeah, and coincidentally enough, they're unveiling their championship banner tonight with the Lakers. So that's the game LeBron.
Why so late in the season?
Because they wanted to wait till they had fans.
Yeah, California's been like really strict. I think they just opened up at all.
All right.
So they'll have fans for their game too. They had fans last night. I saw that.
I saw. By the way, I think it's not tonight. I think it's at the end of the month. I think that Inter Miami is going full capacity.
May 29th.
Yeah, I think they're going full capacity. No, tonight's their next game. I think they play tonight. I think they play Montreal. I think they play tonight.
Yeah,
Robbie, do they play twice a week?
They've been playing, on the week, just weekend games, but usually they do play twice a week.
Okay.
Yeah, they play. They play Montreal tonight.
7:30.
At the Pink's house.
Yeah, Tobin, you've been getting lucky with a lot of. I don't think today's game's a national game, but you've been getting lucky with a lot of Inter Miami national games.
I haven't really, Robbie. I really haven't watched any of the Pinks this year, just because they've been so conflicted with everything else. Like,
yeah,
I
Mother's
mean,
Day,
we've had some busy weekends here, like between the fights that I have to watch and the Heat and the Marlins and
long
like
days. They just
ended up being low priority. I will get into the Pinks at some point.
Yeah,
even like some Marlins, like between the Panthers and the Heat, like the Marlins have kind of taken a back burner to me over the last couple of nights. I mean, I checked out a little bit yesterday.
It's good to see the Panthers.
I'm excited for this weekend.
I'm tired of hearing 5 points out.
No, man, they're good.
Was that like 2 years?
5 points in, yes. They don't need games in hand.
Oh no, they're like they're second in the division, right?
Home ice.
Second in the division. They finished with the second or third best record in the league, Robbie, or second most points.
Yeah.
I think it was them, Carolina, and I think Vegas maybe has the most.
Yeah.
So they're like second or third.
Right. And it all has to do with all them damn ties. Because I think Vegas has like 14 or 15 ties.
Yeah,
crazy. But do you guys want to hear? So I have been scoping WEI this morning.
Nothing. We got nothing.
Because I want to bathe. I want to bathe in their misery. All right. I want to sit under the shower head and just bask in their tears. And these jackasses are not only ignoring the game. All right. So they're not giving me the goods. And I feel like they're doing it on purpose. I think they're onto us.
They think you're listening.
Yeah, I think they know we're listening. I think they know that we are sitting here waiting for them to bitch and moan about the Boston Celtics. They have flipped it on its head, and now they're just explaining it. Now they're just taking calls on how much they hate the NBA in general.
Started to lose its luster for me, and that summer before 2011 is when LeBron said that he was taking his talents to South Beach. And that pretty much put the cap on it for me. Ever since then, I felt like the NBA has just been a joke. That, Kevin Durant's joining the Warriors, and, you got your Kyrie, James Harden, and Kevin Durant now. And
James Harden.
I feel like the sport just totally overtook that league.
Okay, so in other words, LeBron, you had an issue with LeBron because he left Cleveland, his hometown.
And this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach.
Or the way he did it with the reveal that bothered you?
Yeah, it was just a circus show, you know what I mean? It used to be, you had your duos, your Jordans, your Pippins, your Kobe's, your Shaqs, and then the Celtics actually kind of started it with the Ray Allen, Paul Pierce.
Oh, thank you for admitting
LeBron,
it.
I feel like
I'll acknowledge.
Huh. Okay.
See, I think it's so much like people don't like LeBron. They just don't like him. I mean, and so everything LeBron does, and I agree, Curtis, because I know you're going to go on to the China thing. I agree with you on that. He's definitely a hypocrite for some of the stuff.
Way ahead of you.
Right? And I think a lot of people are turned off by LeBron James, and LeBron James is basically the face of the NBA.
Oh, my God.
Basically.
Hey, yeah, it's definitely not because your team sucks, and that's why all of a sudden now you hate the NBA.
Right.
It's all super teams.
They only started hating it when their big three only lasted for a year and a half.
I mean, let's be honest. Kyrie going to Brooklyn is not the same as him coming to Boston. It's not the same, Wiggy. It's not the same. I mean, Jesus Christ. I think that I didn't like last night because of LeBron and China. And that's why I didn't watch Jason Tatum fold up like a cheap suit against Bam Adebayo. Because of China. Like, all right.
Yeah, like they you know what they did? They're rats off a ship on
the rats off a ship. Out.
And so now think about this. Your excuse for not liking basketball is not that your team isn't as good as you thought, but LeBron, who's in LA.
Right.
Yeah, 2011. They've hated basketball since 2011.
It's 5:30 in the morning, and your reasons for last night was LeBron on the West Coast.
Let's take some calls. Why didn't you enjoy last night? Let's go to O'Keefe in down at the docks. Yeah, O'Keefe here. I really didn't like what LeBron said about China, and that's why I Marcus Smart isn't smart. That's why I didn't like him playing. It's like, bro, all right. Jeez Louise.
Pritchard.
Peyton Pritchard is the only player I like. because he's got intangibles. He brought heart to the game.
It's pretty amazing.
I mean, Leroy, I swear I have been looking for one mention of Brad Stevens this morning. Not a fire Brad Stevens. Let's just take a big old flamethrower to the NBA. You want to know what? We're not talking about it the rest of the summer. We never liked it anyway. Cowards.
That's there, yeah. We only talked about it because you guys wanted us to.
We only talked about it because we were talking about it. We were in the season, and then we realized we never liked the season anyway, because of LeBron. Yeah, I hate that guy.
When he went to, not to mention 2010 LeBron.
Right. I didn't like 10 years ago when he took his talents to South Beach. Hey, Wiggy, play that taking his talents to South Beach bite. We got that on lock. Play it on the instant replay. Now play some laser sounds.
I can't believe they still have that drop. We don't even use it anymore.
I don't even how is it possible they had that? Because I got my button right here. It's got all types of things. You want to hear Bill Belichick say, do your job?
It's unbelievable.
Super Chris says Leroy is not amused.
No. This is you can't be that all in and then 24 hours later be that all out.
And then they pulled the Baffert.
That is the exact rats off a ship.
That is rats off a ship. That's
rats off a ship to a T. If you want the definition of rats off a ship, there it is.
Texture writes in Tobin, it looks like Tyler Hero got his haircut at your barber. I got a new barber, sir. He's really good. I like him. I had a terrible barber back in the day. You remember that bad haircut I had that one time, Leroy?
I got to tell you.
I had a rogue barber too.
I'm not really paying that much attention to your hair.
Bro, you remember the cut. You remember the cut.
I mean, did you just get a haircut recently?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I like the way it looks.
Why did he went a little more Eddie Munster in the front, right?
That's just me, dude. I got the widow's peak. He actually is like, hey, you want me to line that up? I'm like, nah, bro, I'm not that cool. Like, let's line up.
If he lined it up, you'd have a massive forehead.
Yeah, I look like Peyton Manning.
But the problem is the reason why you have a big forehead is because the top of your head's flat. If it was rounded, then it wouldn't look as bad. That's like, so when people look at you, the top of your head looks flat. So that makes your forehead look like a square, like your face looks like a square. If it was rounded, then your hairline wouldn't look like it's so far back.
L Nice says, never seen Tobin with a good cut. Definitely goes supercuts. I don't go to supercuts, sir. Slap yourself. Dexter writes in, I remember the cut. Yeah, me too, man. It's on Twitter somewhere. Check B's Twitter account. You can find it. The cut. It's a bad one.